So you've made an awesome reel, put it out there, and the clients just aren't coming, or you're not getting the right kind of clients. Let's join Joe Simon in his Together workshop as he shares ways to take the process of getting the right clients into your own hands. And for the full workshop, check out the Academy of Storytellers through the link in the description.
We have a bunch of different kind of clients. Gina's been with us for a few years, and even within the past year, I believe we shot these products that you see. We shot all of these. I'll let you walk through a few of those.
So the projects that we do can differ a lot from just doing production, building the crew for the shoot, but sometimes we take it from like concept creation, helping our clients or the agency that we're working with that, through full pre-production, the shoot, and into post. So it can vary a lot on these and the crew sizes. I mean, sometimes it's just Joe and Hussein out there on their own, literally with no one else, and
no PAs or anything.
No PAs or anything, and no one to make sure they have coffee and things like that.
Just very scary.
It was just horrifying, as you can imagine. To building out crews, like we just had a shoot in July where we were in 4 different cities on the East Coast. We brought like a main crew with us, and then like staffed other people locally. So it's just about like building your network and, you know, sizing up when you need to and doing what's right for each individual project.
And, you know, part of like that particular project and building up crew in other cities, we are members with Story and Heart or part of the community. And I actually reached out to Justin and said, hey, we're one of these cities. Do you have any recommendations for people, you know, gaffers and grip and PAs within these regions that we could possibly work with? Because if you don't know anybody there, how are you going to find people to work with? You know, and it's good to know people that can recommend somebody that actually you've seen their work versus going to a grip company and being like, hey, we need this, and then you don't know what you get. You know, sometimes it's really bad. A lot of people always ask, like, okay, well, great, we have a reel. How do we actually get work? How do we get a company to even approach us to do a job? And there's a few things. I started doing agency showings, and basically what that is you approach an agency, you ask them to speak to the creative director. Sometimes if you email and call, they don't even return those because they don't care. So you have to walk into the office sometimes. You set up a showing, which basically you go in, you sit in a conference room, you play your reel or multiple reels if you have, and you pitch yourself to their producers. And really what it is for a lot of these agencies, it's like they expect free food. So you bring in, like in Austin, we bring in tacos. And you bring in tacos and they come for the free food, and maybe they stay for half of it, maybe they stay for 1 minute just for free food, but you're trying to impress these producers to want to hire you on. So it's more about having that confidence and being up there and being excited about your work and selling yourself more than anything, because this is a people business. And if people like you, they hire you more so off that than your work sometimes. So we started doing agency showings, and this was probably at 2012, 2013 when I first started this. I did a lot of those to start drumming up business. The other thing is just direct to client, which is basically, you know, just working for anybody within your local town, right? If there's a business that you like, say there's a coffee shop, like I love their coffee, I go there all the time, maybe you even know the people because you're there so often, why not go make something for them? And one, you can use that stuff for your demo reel, but also maybe you can create an awesome piece that you put online and it gets traction, and all of a sudden someone else sees it and they want you to do the same thing for them. So for me, that was some of the ways we started bringing in business. Agencies are tough because once you do a showing, it might be 6 months, it might be a year before you even get work, because what they're working on currently takes time. So you have to get to the place where, one, they want to bring you in and try you out, see if you can do the job, and it has to also fit your style and what you want to be doing. So that takes time. So the direct-to-client route, if you start working with local companies to make things, it's a lot easier. The hard thing is you're usually not getting paid right away or getting paid well, which is not very fun. So you want to make sure it's actually work you want to be doing. Don't just like, well, there's this brand down the street, I'm not really into it, I'm going to make it because it's going to be easy. You know, like, what are you passionate about? What do you actually want to make? Because that's going to play into it. For me, personal projects are really important. It guides where I want my company to go and what I want to create. Because let's face it, you know, depending on what you're working on, like, you know, we have like on the waterways, we did like these really cool travel films for a cruise company in Europe. We've done 2 of them. We'll be doing another one in the next 6 months or so. They're fun, but you're working with old people on a ship. We shoot these beautiful things, but then these ideas get dumbed down to, well, we got to do this voiceover, and then they pick the horrible voiceover person, and then the script's horrific, and you're like, well, I can't do anything about it because that's what they want to do. Even though we have this crazy, amazing content that we can make something incredible, like really incredible with, it gets dumbed down to something that we're not the most psyched on, right? So personal projects allow me to really create stuff that I want to make. So we just recently did a short film called Low Tide. It was a personal project for us. I went to Thailand last year, did a personal project, which I still haven't edited because I've been lazy. And we're constantly doing different things. But I'm going to mute this reel, and I want to play back for you guys and just show you how many shots within this reel are actually just from personal project and not paid work. Because that's what you do, is you do stuff you actually really want to do, what your passion is, what you really care about. Put that in your reel, because the company's not going to hire you to create something if you haven't already done it. If you're like, oh, well, I look at this guy's work, like this is what he did, I can totally do that for you guys. But it's not your work, it's someone else's. You have to do it yourself so you can pitch yourself as being able to do it. So this is personal project stuff, all these aerials, that's personal project. That's personal project here, personal project stuff, personal projects. This is work, personal project, work. This is all work stuff. And momentarily, personal project, personal project, personal project. So you can see, like, I do just put a lot of that into my reel because that's the kind of vibe I'm trying to create. So I don't want to bore you by going through the whole entire thing again, but think about that when you're trying to create your brand and what you want to do. Think about how you can actually shoot the stuff that you want to shoot to get those future jobs, because it's really important.
Yeah, so I'm curious about the strategy, finding the agencies to pitch to, and then the strategy with follow-up. I mean, the showing's great.
Yep.
Let's say it goes amazing. Obviously, there's a process. They're waiting for the right project,
Yep.
the right client. They want to test you out. But what's your follow-up strategy with those agencies, and how do you identify those at the front end?
I'd say first and foremost is finding what agencies you actually want to work with is the biggest thing, because if you just look in your region and go to every agency, it might not fit with the work you're actually doing. So I think it's important to pinpoint that down. After we do the showing, I always follow up. I get the cards of the producers there, and I email them back and try to touch base every few months to see if they have a project, or meet for coffee, or meet for drinks. Because the more you can get it to a personal level, the more that they're going to care to actually hire you. So that's my biggest thing, is trying to do that.
And on the front end, like how broad are you casting your net? I mean, across the nation or a region?
Sometimes
or how do you
across
guys do
the
it
world.
personally?
Across the world sometimes. Like we just did a kind of a broad thing for travel where we sent pitches to lots of hotels and agencies within that world. So sometimes it's worldwide, sometimes it's local. It's much easier to do local because you can physically meet people, which is way more important, because when you're just a name on an email screen, no one cares about you. It's like that personal connection.
Was your mind blown with knowledge just like mine was? Check the links in the description for the full workshop, and remember to subscribe to get more mind-blowing nuggets from professional filmmakers. And do share what your takeaways were in the comment section below. Go ahead, I'll wait.